Hey everyone, Texas Highwayman here. In this video, we'll look at the plans for the expansion of Loop 1604 from I-10 to US 281. This is the second project of three that will expand Loop 1604 from Bandera to 281. The first project from Bandera to I-10 started in May 2021. And the third project will replace the I-10 Loop 1604 interchange and is currently scheduled to start in mid-2022. For more background information and history of all these projects, see my Loop 1604 Northwest Expansion preview video. The link is in the comments section below. Okay, so let's take a look at this project. Here's a cross-section of the existing freeway showing the two main lanes in each direction and access roads with a varying number of lanes. And here's the planned cross-section. It will consist of 5 main lanes in each direction, with one of those being an HOV lane and the other 4 being general purpose lanes, as well as access roads with a varying number of lanes in each direction. Generally speaking, after this project is complete, the access roads will have the same number of lanes as they do today. The HOV lanes in this corridor will be just like the ones that have been recently completed on I-10 and on 281 outside 1604. However, in this project, just like in the Bandera to I-10 segment, the pavement for the HOV lanes along here will be laid, but will not be marked or open when the rest of the lanes are completed. And the reason for that is because the HOV lanes west of I-10 will connect to the HOV lanes along here, but the overpasses that they'll use with the I-10 interchange are being reconstructed as part of the interchange project, and so won't be completed when the rest of the lanes are ready. That'll leave a gap in the HOV lanes for a short time, and it would have been awkward to have the HOV lanes in to begin while the work on the interchange was still being completed. So instead, the HOV lanes along the entire Bandera to 281 segment will be marked and open as part of the interchange project. All right, so let's take a look at what this will look like from the air. This is the video that TxDOT released to the public last year based on the schematics at the time. However, this video is for the entire corridor all the way to I-35. Since this project ends at US 281, there will be a transitional area between Blanco and 281 to narrow that footprint back down to the 2 lanes in each direction on 1604 east of 281. And so that will match what's shown here in the video. So when we get to that point, I'll describe what that will look like, and I'll show the construction blueprints for that section. So okay, on with the overview here. First, we'll take a look at the eastbound side. Here we're starting at the I-10 interchange. And I'm going to point out a few things here before we even get rolling. Here you'll see coming through the interchange, there's 3 general purpose lanes eastbound plus the HOV lane. And we talked about earlier about the HOV lane situation. And over here on the side, you'll notice here's like an elevated access road. They call that a collector distributor road. And it's coming through the I-10 interchange. And what this will be is this will be traffic coming from La Cantera Parkway, UTSA, and that area that wants to continue straight through the interchange, either on the access road or they want to get onto eastbound 1604. And so this is where they'll be coming from the west. For that traffic that wants to continue on the access road, then when they get to this point here, they'll veer to the right and continue down this ramp onto the access road and continue towards Vance Jackson. For that traffic that wants to get onto eastbound 1604, they'll come along here and they'll veer to the left, and there'll be an entrance ramp here that comes onto eastbound 1604. So let's go ahead and roll. Here's that traffic coming on eastbound 1604 from La Cantera we mentioned. We'll enter. And then we'll stop here. You'll notice here on either side we have the elevated direct connector flyovers from I-10. They'll be along this section here. Now this project will actually build the elevated connectors along this section, and then they'll end right about here. So there'll be stubs for those as part of this project, and then those will be connected into the interchange as part of the interchange project that's starting next year. So you will see construction on these elevated connectors, and you'll see them just like suddenly end, like seen out of speed or something. But keep in mind those will be connected to the interchange as part of that separate project. All right, rolling forward a little bit more, here we are at Vance Jackson Road. And then here's the railroad overpass. And for those of you that are familiar with this area, you'll notice there's no tradesman overpass. There's currently an overpass here for tradesmen, but that overpass will be removed as part of this project. And the reason for that is that they're going to have to expand this lower level area here where 1604 is. They're going to have to move those retaining walls back just a little bit to make some additional room for the additional lanes on 1604. And so to do that, they would have to lengthen the tradesman bridge, which would mean tearing it down and replacing it. But they determined there's not a lot of traffic that uses that tradesman overpass, certainly not enough to warrant the additional cost to replace that overpass. And indeed, a lot of the traffic that comes from tradesmen today that would cross and make that left turn is actually going down to Lock Hill Selma and making the turnaround so they can enter 1604 at that entrance ramp from Lock Hill Selma, so they don't have to go through the lights at Vance Jackson or under I-10. So a lot of that traffic already today is not even using that overpass. It's going down to Lock Hill Selma. So the main inconvenience is going to be for traffic headed westbound on 1604 that wants to make the left turn on a tradesman. So what they'll do instead is Textile is going to build a turnaround here at Vance Jackson Road at westbound to eastbound turnaround. So that traffic will just have to go down that quarter of a mile or so, make that turnaround and come back to Tradesman. So a little bit inconvenient, but not a whole lot unless, of course, there's a train at that time. But anyway, that's the reason why the Tradesman overpass is being removed as part of this project. All right, so continuing eastbound. We'll pause again right here. Again, for those of you familiar with this area, you'll know there's an exit ramp to Lock Hill Selma here today. That's where that third right lane drops off today. But you'll notice that's not here. Instead, there's an entrance ramp here, and this is the entrance ramp from Vance Jackson. And the reason why they went ahead and did that is because there's a whole lot more traffic coming from Vance Jackson today than there was when 1604 was originally built. Obviously the rim and the landmark and all the other development around that intersection there of I-10 and 1604 has generated a lot more traffic coming down the access road here that today is passing through the Lock Hill Selma intersection. And so it's better for them to have an entrance ramp here to go ahead and get on to eastbound 1604. So for those of you that are headed to Lock Hill Selma on eastbound 1604, you won't have that exit ramp here now that you have now in the future. Instead, what you'll do is you'll exit back where the Vance Jackson exit is today on eastbound 1604, which is before I-10, kind of back where Valero is. And then you'll continue through I-10 on that elevated collector distributor road that we talked about, and then onto the access road through the Vance Jackson intersection, and then down this way to Lock Hill Selma. For those of you that may not want to pass through the Vance Jackson intersection or worry about maybe catching a train or maybe miss your exit entirely there, then you have another option is to go down here and exit at Military, take the turnaround and come back and then get to Lock Hill Selma that way. That sounds a little bit maybe out of the box, but it actually may be quicker in many cases. All right, so continuing on our trip eastbound. Here we have the elevated connector from I-10, and as we pass over Lock Hill Selma, that's where that elevated connector will descend and merge into the 1604 lanes. And so you'll have 5 lanes across here at this point, but this right lane will be what's known as an auxiliary lane, which means it comes on from 1604, but then it's going to exit here at the exit for Northwest Military, which is about where it is today, leaving 4 main lanes continuing eastbound. Here's the exit then for Bitters and Hebner, which is again about where it is today. And then we continue eastbound. Again, the 4 main lanes plus HOV lane, continuing eastbound. Here's the entrance then from Northwest Military, again about where it is today. No big change there. This schematic shows a long acceleration lane, but then does merge back into the 4 general purpose lanes headed eastbound. We go around the corner here under Bitters, and we have the entrance ramp from Bitters, again about where it is today. No big change there. And it becomes an auxiliary lane on the right-hand side. And then as we go around the corner here at Hebner, we're going to go ahead and pause here. And then that right lane will become an exit-only lane. And then this will be the exit actually for Blanco Road, as well as the exit for Stone Oak Parkway. And for those of you that use the Stone Oak Parkway to the exit today, you'll know that that is a huge change. The exit for Stone Oak today is way down past Blanco. But they're going to pull it back here to just past Hebner. And it will exit here along with Blanco. And this is exiting onto, again, what's known as a collector distributor road. You can think of it kind of as an express access road. It sits between the frontage road and the main lanes. And then the traffic for Blanco then will make this exit onto the access road, onto the frontage road here. And the traffic for Stone Oak Parkway then will continue on this collector distributor road, which is separated from the main lanes by a barrier. And then it will continue eastbound here in its own lane. And then as we approach Blanco, you'll notice here that we have an entrance ramp from Blanco down to this collector distributor road. And the reason for this is twofold. First of all, they're building what's called a diverging diamond interchange here at Blanco. They're going to replace the existing intersections there with this new diverging diamond interchange at DDI, which is a new type of intersection, innovative intersection or alternative intersection that is better at handling traffic than conventional intersections. And a diverging diamond interchange, you can't really tell from the schematic here, from the video here, but actually blocks through traffic on the access road, and that's part of what makes the intersection more efficient. And so for traffic on the access road that wants to go through to, say, Stone Oak Parkway, or the traffic coming from Hebner that wants to get on to 1604 eastbound, that's what this entrance ramp will facilitate. That traffic will come down here, we'll get onto this collector distributor road, pass under Blanco, and then again, for traffic that wants to get back to the access road, they can veer off to the right here and be on their way on the access road down to Stone Oak Parkway. Or for the traffic, say, coming from Hebner that wants to get onto eastbound 1604, they'll veer to the left and there'll be an entrance ramp onto 1604 here. And here that you can kind of see where the access road does not go through this intersection. You'd have to turn left or right. And again, this is the DDI, Diverging Diamond Interchange, that they'll be building at Blanco. And I'll do a separate video on that in the near future. All right, continuing eastbound here, we have the entrance ramp from Hebner. And this is the point where we'll start to see the transition occur between what we see here in the video, which is the ultimate project that includes the section west of, or east of 281 rather, going all the way to I-35. The transition, we're gonna have to narrow down to match the existing lanes east of 281 as this project is only goes up to 281. So at this point, you'll have the entrance ramp from Hebner, and then right around here, you'll have the right lane will actually merge over to the left. And so there'll only be three main lanes, three general purpose main lanes continuing eastbound at this point. You'll have this entrance ramp here from Blanco, and then it will come on and it will add a fourth lane. So there'll actually be four general purpose main lanes across here, plus the HOV lane, which again, we talked about earlier, how the HOV lane will not be actually completed as part of this project. It will be added later. But the thing to keep in mind is that there'll be four lanes along here, four main general purpose lanes along here rather than the five shown. And then as we continue eastbound, we will have the exit to the access road kind of that we have today. And then as we get here to the exit for 281, the two right lanes will be an exit only, and then you'll have two lanes on the left side here that will continue through the interchange, which matches what's there today. So from this point eastward, it'll be pretty much exactly what you have today. Okay, so I wanted to show you what those construction blueprints look like for that transition section, because sometimes it's easier to see it than to visualize it when I'm describing it. So here we are, we're at Blanco Road. And as I mentioned before, we have the four main lanes coming eastbound. You have the entrance from Hebner, which makes it 5 lanes briefly, that acceleration lane, then it drops down to 4 lanes. And then as we continue eastbound, right before this entrance ramp, you'll see that this far right lane then will merge down, and you'll have 3 main lanes continuing eastbound. You have the entrance then from Blanco as we pass over Stone Oak Parkway. That will result in 4 lanes headed eastbound. And we continue eastbound. Here's the exit ramp to the frontage road. And we continue eastbound some more. And then here's the exit then for 281. You'll see the 2 right lanes exit off to 281. And then you'll have 2 main lanes that continue through, which then matches the existing cross-section or footprint east of there. All right, we'll turn around. We'll look at the westbound side next. Again, we'll stay on this construction blueprint for a few minutes. We talk about how that's going to look, the transition. So we have the 2 lanes coming westbound on 1604, and then you have the entrance ramp from 281. Today it's a single lane entrance ramp. With this project, they're going to expand it to 2 lanes. So 2 lanes will come down, and so you'll have 4. But then shortly after entering, that far right lane from 281 will merge to the left, and you'll have 3 lanes then continuing west. Here you have the entrance ramp from the frontage road, which is the same ramp that you have there today. And so it will come on, and then you'll have 4 lanes at that point. But that far right lane is going to be an auxiliary lane. It's going to be an exit-only lane for Blanco. So after you pass over Stone Oak Parkway, you'll have the far right lane exits, and then the second right lane will be an option lane. You can either exit or continue straight. And then that second right lane is actually going to be marked as the exit for Hebner. And we'll see why they have these split up like this in just a minute. But both Hebner and Blanco will exit here right after you pass over Stone Oak Parkway, be a 2-lane exit. And then that then continues westbound. Continuing westbound, we still have 3 lanes coming through that exit there. But then shortly after that exit, you'll see there is another general purpose main lane added onto the left side. And so that's where we'll pick up 4 lanes then. And from there, headed west, we'll have the 4 main lanes. And then again, the HOV lane will be here. As we talked about before, that won't be opened up as part of this project. It'll be opened up later. All right, so let's take a look now what those westbound lanes will look like from the air. To get this westbound video, I just reversed the eastbound video, and so all the traffic looks like it's moving backwards, but that's why that is. So, okay, so here's the entrance from 281 we talked about earlier. Will be 2 lanes coming down onto 1604. Again, you have that exit to Stone Oak Parkway like from the ramp like you do today, but you'll have 2 lanes then coming down from 281 onto 1604. And then from this point here, you'll only have 2 lanes coming through the interchange instead of the 3 shown here. Again, this 3rd lane will be added when they widen the section east of 281. So, but for now, you only have the 2 lanes coming through here. So you'll have 4 lanes at this point after the merge from 281. And again, as we talked about before, that far right lane then will merge to the right. And so you'll have 3 lanes at this point continuing through to here. You have the entrance ramp from the frontage road that you have today. That will add the 4th lane on the right-hand side. And that will become an auxiliary lane that will continue to the west. And then after we pass over Stone Oak Parkway, that far right lane then will become the exit only lane for Blanco. This second right lane then will become an option exit lane for Hebner, or continue straight to the west on 1604. And again, we'll only have 3 lanes at this point, continuing past this this exit rather, instead of the 4 lanes shown here. But once we get to right about here, you'll have that 4th lane added on the left-hand side, and that'll kind of match what we see here in the video. Over here again, we have the 2-lane exit for Blanco and for Hebner. And then as we continue to the west, you'll see then we have the same situation that we had on the eastbound side, where you had that collector distributor road with the exit to Blanco and Stone Oak Parkway. And you have the same situation here. You have the 2 lanes exit. The right lane then will exit up to the access road for Blanco. And then this left lane then will continue west on a collector distributor road separated from the main lanes, headed towards Hebner. So that traffic for Hebner will continue on along here. Now, at this point here, you'll see that the collector distributor road does something a little different than on the eastbound side. This traffic for Hebner will come up and over an entrance ramp, and this is the entrance ramp from Stone Oak Parkway to get to westbound 1604. The collector distributor road will pass up and over it, kind of like a braided ramp, and then the 2 will merge here where that creek, that overpass or the bridge for the creek is. And so those lanes will come together here. Here again, we have the frontage road headed to Blanco. All right. And so as we continue west, you have the collector distributor road passing under Blanco, and then the right lane, which was that traffic you'll remember came from here, that was headed to Hebner, that did that up and over. That traffic's on the right-hand side now, and that's very convenient because now that traffic will exit here on this ramp going up to the access road for Hebner. Whereas the traffic coming from Stone Oak wanting to get onto westbound 1604 will continue in this lane here, and then that becomes an entrance ramp onto loop 1604 at this point here. And then this traffic from the collector distributor road will go up onto the access road headed for Hebner. All right, and as we continue to the west, we have the 4 main lanes, HOV lane. Again, we talked about the situation with that. And then here you'll have the entrance ramp from Blanco, and it's a little further west than the current one is today, that you can kind of see here in the background as this current layout is revealed. They shifted that further to the west, of course, to make way for the exit for Hebner from that collector distributor road. All right, and then as we continue around the corner at Hebner, that far right lane that came on from Blanco will become an actually an auxiliary lane, and we'll exit here. This is the exit for Bitters and Rogers Ranch. We pass under the Bitters Rogers Ranch overpass, come around the corner here, and here is the exit for Northwest Military. It's a little further back than it is today. And the reason they moved it further back is because now we have the entrance ramp from Bitters and Rogers Ranch. That exit is moved, that entrance rather, is moved significantly further back from where it is today. Those of you that use that know that that entrance ramp is way down at Northwest Military, and they moved it much further back. And that's to allow for merging and weaving along here, because as we come around the corner here at Northwest Military, you'll see where that entrance ramp is today is now actually going to be an exit ramp. And this exit is going to be the exit for Lock Hill Selma. They pulled that exit ramp back. And we'll see why in a minute. And so it will come down here, and it will actually pass over the entrance ramp from Northwest Military. And that's at about the same location where it is today. So you have a braided ramp here, the exit for Lock Hill Selma, going up and over the entrance from Northwest Military. And then as we continue a little further to the west, here we have the entrance from Northwest Military, and you have the far right lane here will be an auxiliary lane, so you actually have 5 lanes across the 4 general purpose main lanes you had before, plus the entrance ramp from Military, creating the auxiliary lane. And then as we pass over Lock Hill Selma, this is why they moved that exit ramp back. They wanted to go ahead and have additional room along here, because this is going to be the exit for the I-10 exit, the flyovers to get to I-10. So those flyovers will actually start here at Lock Hill Selma. And so both the far right lane and the second right lane will be exit only to get onto that flyover. Then you'll have the 3 lanes in that continue westbound from there. Okay, we have the flyover for I-10 here. You notice here underneath the flyover, there is an entrance ramp. That's the entrance ramp from Lock Hill Selma. And again, that's about where it is today. So as we talked about before, the folks that are coming from tradesmen that make that turnaround to get on westbound 1604, they'll still have that opportunity, as well as the traffic that's coming from Lock Hill Selma that's used to getting on there today. They'll still be able to get on that same place. We go over Vance Jackson, again, the elevated flyover for I-10. Then just a little bit further down, you'll see there's another exit here. And that's an exit rather onto this collector distributor road. And just like we talked about on the eastbound side, where you had the collector distributor road that takes the access road traffic through the I-10 interchange, so that it won't have to stop like it does today at the traffic lights underneath. You'll have that same situation here on the westbound side. If you want to get off, this will be the exit actually for La Cantera Parkway, for Chase Hill, for UTSA, and even for Babcock. So if you're headed westbound on 1604 and you want to go to any of those intersecting roadways, this is actually where you'll exit. And you'll come through the interchange on this elevated collector distributor road and then be dropped down on the access road on the opposite side of I-10. And then again, kind of the same situation that we talked about on the eastbound side. If you're on the access road, the westbound access road on 1604, and you want to go through the I-10 interchange, say you're headed to La Cantera or UTSA, or you just want to get onto westbound 1604 coming from Vance Jackson, for example, you'll have a ramp coming up from the access road here that'll put you on this collector distributor road, and then you'll go through the interchange, and then there'll be an entrance ramp onto westbound 1604 on the other side of I-10. So that concludes our look at the Loop 1604 expansion project from I-10 to US 281. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video informative. I plan to have future videos about the Diverging Diamond interchange at Blanco and the I-10 Loop 1604 interchange, as well as other major projects around the city, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. And for more details on this project or other highway projects around San Antonio, or to learn more about San Antonio's roads and highways and their history, check out my website at texashighwayman.com. Until next time, drive safely.